Culture Club, brought to you by Hanum, the freshest bottled water made in Guam.
Hapade, si Cara Flores too, and I am an Indigenous CHamoru filmmaker. I was intrigued by stories since I was a child. I was like that weird kid that would go outside for several hours and like tell myself stories, and then like in high school I took a film class, and of course then got into visual communications in college. So it's really always been about the storytelling for me. So initially I got into this industry out of necessity because I love our land and our people so much. There's so much going on right now that threatens our natural environment, contamination, destruction of our children's future heritage. And so that was really what got me into this industry at first, was really to increase visibility of those issues and play my part in trying to protect what belongs to future generations. What has kept me in this industry, though, is just really realizing the value of our perspective as Indigenous people and the unique stories that we have to tell, and just the joy that we get from creating and sharing those things. And so it's been a little of both of those things that have gotten me into this work. So currently I'm the director of NIHI, which is a CHamoru Indigenous media nonprofit. We are creating a bunch of new series. One of my favorites is Ulu Hulu.
Senior Ha'usa echolocation.
Oh,
Oh, to see who has to.
Which is like, it's like the CHamoru version of Heads Up, and it's like entirely in CHamoru. It's just various pairs of people from our community playing the game and speaking in CHamoru. But we have a ton of new series that we're releasing. Outside of NIHI, I also am a filmmaker. So there's a film that I created. The film is called Angumupu I Chancleta, and that means when the slipper flies. And it's kind of a tribute to my own grandmother and to like all Pacific Nanas. It's a short comedy. And so I've been getting back to that film, working on submitting it to festivals. And I'm also working on a project with a friend of mine, a Samoan filmmaker from Australia, who we're working on a series together. So we're in the writing phase, really where we're just kind of figuring out like the characters, developing like the arc of the series, the story, direction, and things like that. And that's a really cool project to work on. My favorite thing about doing this work is really pulling from like the wisdom and the joy that we've inherited, and kind of being able to like imagine how we want to see the world and like what we want to create, and using that joy and wisdom to create stories or to create series or to write. That's like one of the things I love most about this work. I think that we as CHamoros, as Micronesians, as Indigenous people, it's more than just like what are we passing down to future generations. There's like a need for our worldview. There's a need for our ways of life, for our ways of relating to each other, to future generations, to the earth. And so the way that we consider relationships is so different from the way the rest of the world thinks about relationships. Our relationships to the land, to the ocean, to future generations, those things are essential to this planet. I think that like the trajectory that we're moving in is really hopeful, where when I was growing up, like there wasn't really this movement. It was just a handful of people that were trying to speak CHamoru, right? Just a handful of people that were looking at like reconnecting to the land, or who were trying to reconnect to old traditions. And now it's become this movement and it's growing. So I think it's beautiful that that's the trajectory that we're moving in. And I think that it will just continue to grow as time goes on, and we're each obligated to do our part to making sure that that the next generation realizes that our cultures are a gift that we've been given, that we are the best equipped to carry those values and those traditions into the future. And yeah, I'm really hopeful about where we're headed. My name is Cara Flores, and I am proud to be a part of KUAM's Culture Club.
Culture Club, brought to you by Hanum, the freshest bottled water made in Guam.